Ladies and gentlemen, five fans all around the world, we're talking part two of the question that Rollo Polo asked me. Sergio Martinez. So, Sergio Martinez, there's a couple of points I wanted to make. First one was when Sergio Martinez finally won against Kelly Pavlik right here, okay, when he finally won the WBO World Middleweight title against Kelly Pavlik, that was in the year 2010. And he began his career way back in the year 1997. December of 1997. So it was almost 13 years that elapsed before he had a world title shot and before he won a world title. Okay, so as much as we talk about fast track, the fighter needs to gain a lot of experience that he didn't have in the amateurs. So he went through this long road, and you have to stick with it. Okay, long road. The same thing with Bernard Hopkins. It took him a while before he got a world championship, or at least he won a world championship title. He got a world championship title attempt very early. He had 3 tries. All right. So this is a very important point to understand, that the fighter is actually developing their career. If they don't have an extensive amateur background, they have to develop it in their pros. Same thing with Canelo Alvarez, even though he didn't start late in his career. Okay. So this goes for every fighter. So again, it depends on the fighter, not only their talent, but also on building their skills, holding their skills, and the matchmakers move them on as is important. And you can see that that Sergio Martinez, he never lost another fight until Miguel Cotto. He became world champion. He never looked back. And we're talking about world champion. He won the middleweight world championship, and after that, he never looked back. All right. So that's Sergio Martinez. Now, Errol Spence Jr. Let's talk a little bit about him. Errol Spence Jr. actually had a pretty extensive amateur background, okay? His trainer, by the way, was Derek James, and it's always been his trainer. And you'll see Sergio Martinez, he also had 2 trainers, and they were brothers, and they were with him all the way from the beginning to the end. Like I told you, the trainer is very important. So he showed that he was very talented very early. So in 2008, he won the United States Golden Gloves in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Oh, he didn't win it, sorry, my bad. He attended it, and he defeated the first guy, and then the second guy he lost. In 2008, he was in the United States National Under 19 Championships in Kansas City. All right, he began his career, I think, somewhere. He began boxing at the age of 16, I think, or 17, and he made it. He made it, you know, further than he did the first time he faced some national championship. Then he was in the World Youth Championships in Guadalajara, Mexico. And he defeated Alex Theron from Colombia, and then Taras Makarov from Ukraine. And then he lost to Boturojon Uzbekistan. Okay? In 2009, notice how active he is. In 2008, he was in 3 championships. In 2009, he was in the United States National Gold Gloves Championship. He was a gold medalist there, so he defeated everybody. Then he went to the United States National Championships. He was a gold medalist there. And then he went to the World Championships, and he participated there. He lost in the first round to the Cuban. In 2010, he was in the United States Golden Gloves again. He was a silver medalist. And then in 2010, he was in the Four Nations Tournament gold medalist. He became in France. He's traveling all around the world. In the Pan American Games in Venezuela, he qualified. Okay. In 2011, he was the United States National Champions gold medalist in Colorado Springs. United States Olympic Trials, he was the gold medalist. The World Championship quarterfinals in Azerbaijan, he made it to the quarterfinals. The World Cup of Petroleum Countries and bronze medalist in Russia, he was a bronze medalist there. 2012, he was in the Chemistry Cup participant in Halle, Germany. And then in the Summer Olympic Games in London, Great Britain, he was a participant there, and he won. I thought he won the bronze medal. No, he was just a participant. So he had an extensive amateur background. Okay, and so that's why he has this reputation. The combination, though, is his talent and then his skills. The skills he learned from Derek James, who's a very good boxer himself and a very good fighter. So he learned quite a lot from Derek James. How he was brought along in the pros also was very important. So in the pros again, when you look at how he was matched up with a guy with some losses first, and once he could get by that guy, he stopped him, and he was stopping up a bunch of guys. They started ramping him up a little bit more with tougher and tougher competition, and then he would go more and more rounds. All right. The Emmanuel Lartey fight was a very good one for him. And then, he had a couple other fights which were kind of testy. Ronald Cruz, that was his 10-rounder. He went 10 rounds there. Chris Van Herdeen. He moved up to the 12-rounder against Leonard Bundu and then Kell Brook. And since then, besides the Mikey Garcia fight, he's not really gone 12 rounds. Okay? So they're moving him along pretty well. Again, the matchmakers have a lot to do with it, and the boxer getting experience. But he has an extensive amateur background, so he's good to go. Errol Spence. But also, you got to remember he has skills and talents, okay? He's got God-given skills and God-given talents. Let's talk about Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder is pretty much like Sergey Martinez, and also he's pretty much like Bernard Hopkins, okay? His amateur background is not that extensive, but he does have an amateur background of 30-5 fights, okay? A very talented fighter. He has great trainers, Jay Diaz and Mark Breland, who again was a boxer. And so what you find a very successful boxer at that. So he was the 2007 heavyweight gold medalist at the National Gold Gloves Tournament in Chattagona, USA. He was the 2007 heavyweight gold medalist at the United States Amateur Championships in Colorado Springs. He was the heavyweight gold medalist at the United States Olympic Trials in Houston, USA. He was the United States heavyweight representative of the World Championships in Chicago, USA. The results of the preliminaries, he lost to Krzysztof Zimak of Poland. He was the 2007 heavyweight silver medalist for the United States at the pre-Olympic tournament in Beijing, China. He was the United States heavyweight representative of the USA versus Russia duel in Russia there. He was the heavyweight silver medalist for the United States in the first Olympic qualifying tournament in the Americas in Port of Spain, Trinidad, which is my country. And he was the United States bronze medalist in the 2008 Olympics in Beijing, China. Okay? So this guy also had a pretty extensive amateur background. All right? But here's the thing I wanted to show you guys, how they brought him along. And that's very important. When you don't have a lot of amateur experience, but you're very talented, very skilled, and you got like God-given abilities like knockout power, they still move you along pretty carefully. So the matchmakers, you can see they moved him around. He had at least four 4-rounders. Then he had 1 6-rounder, back to 4-rounders again, 1 6-rounder, 2 6-rounder, 3 6-rounder, 4. They moved him up pretty nice and slow, like Julio Cesar Chavez style. Okay, they're moving him along slowly, taking their time so he will develop in each stage. Okay? So that when he does become world champion, he has a whole bunch of fights under him because he's building up his pro experience. So he has his first 10-rounder here against Kirsten Manswell, and they move him along nicely, an 8-rounder here. Then he gets his first 12-rounder against Audley Harrison, and they're moving him along nicely, 10, and then he got another 12-rounder here with Malik Scott. Another 12-rounder against Bermain Stavern. This was a championship fight where he actually went 12 rounds with Bermain Stavern. And after that championship fight, he had a number of other championship fights. He had Eric Molina, John Duapas, Alter Spilskar, Chris Arreola was that's a good name. Gerald Washington, back to Bermain Stavern, and then he had Luis Ortiz and Tyson Fury, Dominic Brazil. But here's the important thing. He won the World Championship fight against Bermain Stavern in 2015, and he debuted in boxing in 2008. So that's 7 years. So as much as people talk about fast track, it's not really a lot of fast tracking. It actually takes many, many years before this person actually gets to a championship fight. All right? Let's go to another one. Again, it depends on how quickly you can acquire skills, you can develop skills, and that kind of determines what happens. With Reggie Prograis, his trainer, Highland Williams Sr., okay? Highland Williams Sr. This is a guy that's been with him all the way through. His amateur career, he has an amateur career, by the way.